Hello and welcome to episode 81 of the Movie Bros podcast. We are your hosts, as always, Duncan and Hayden. Hello, hello.
Welcome back, everyone.
If you're new, this is a weekly podcast of two brothers who pick one movie, watch that movie, discuss, ramble, banter, argue, dissect anything you can think of about said movie. We cover all genres, all eras. Like we said at the top, this is 81, so there's 80 episodes if you want to peruse backwards, as well as a couple special features along the way. So I think there's a little over 90 episodes at this point. Yeah, you can check out this podcast on Spotify, on YouTube. If that's how you listen to things, it's also on Instagram at @themovie_bros. If you want to make recommendations on what we should be watching or what we shouldn't be watching or anything like that. So this week, folks, we're going to be talking about / we watched The Shadow. And Hayden, what are some fast film facts about The Shadow?
Well, some fast film facts about The Shadow is that came out in 1994. It is 2 years older than me, which is weird to think about. This is directed by Russell Mulcahy. Mulcahy. Who knows? And I looked up, okay, what else has he done? Because, not to give away some of our discussion points, I enjoy this movie. What else has he done?
A whole lot of nothing, right?
Pretty much. He's done a lot of TV episodes, a lot of TV movies. He did do the original Highlander in 1986. That's a pretty good movie. On the flip side, he also did the extremely unfortunate Resident Evil Extinction. Bits and roundabouts.
Yeah.
He's got things like, you know what? I'm scrolling through his filmography. I literally don't recognize fucking anything. It's like music videos.
But hey, he's a working director, though. He's getting paid to do it.
He is. He had something come out in 2023. He directed the Teen Wolf movie, which is sitting at a solid 5 out of 10 on IMDb. That's how you know it's quality. And he also has 2 movies in production, something called Werewolf and The Savior. This is written by David Koepp, however you want to pronounce that. A name I recognize from just being around in the industry for nigh on 40 years, but you might recognize him from such little projects as the original Mission Impossible, the original Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Angels and Demons, Zathura, the Spielberg War of the World, the original Spider-Man. He is almost always an adaptational screenwriter, so he's not out there writing the original stories, but he is often who they tap to say, oh, we have this IP, this property, we want to bring it to the big screen. Can you help us? And he has done so many of these.
Okay, because The Shadow this is not this is an adaptation in itself.
That's very correct. This is based upon the very long time running radio teleplay, if that's the right verbiage, by Walter B. Gibson. So, before we had our Netflixes and such, we would have radio dramas, and that's what this is based off. And then it became a serial comic strip for a long time. I think it ran on the Dark Horse label for a while in like the 80s and 90s, which I think this is not a direct inspiration from, but it's certainly pulling a lot of its design aesthetics from, which is interesting to me. This stars Alec Baldwin, John Lone, Penelope Ann Miller, Peter Boyle, Ian McKellen, and Tim Curry, featuring Jonathan Winters, Sab Shimono, and James Hong. And music here is by Jerry Goldsmith, the one, the only. He is a huge name in film composing, from works like Wrath of Khan to all the Zorro movies to the second Alien film. He was a staple in the 80s and 90s and briefly the 70s as just being a defining sound of cinema for the longest time. Cinematography here is by Stephen H. Burham, and I'm just going to quickly look and see what else he's done. And he's also done The Untouchables and the original Miss Marvel, which he got a Academy Award nomination for. It's interesting. All right, and then that is the information I had to share.
And from that, let's go into ratings. Thoughts?
Well, I tried to view this as like objectively as possible, just because this was a hugely nostalgic movie for me. I just have
Sure.
such vivid
Absolutely.
memories of watching this as a kid
Yes.
because our dad really loved it. I think we watched it all the time. So it's hard to watch this to watch this. Sound like fucking Mike Tyson. It's hard to watch this like critically when you have that kind of a background with it. But that being said, this is like a 4 out of 5 for me. I really enjoy this movie. I really love how dedicated it is to being this one specific like vibe for the whole movie. It is like it's very on purpose trying to be this one specific thing, and it's so very different to what I think we would consider superhero movies today.
Well, absolutely. It's not quite Big Trouble in Little China, but it's almost there.
So when you open the IMDb thing, it'll suggest things that it thinks are similar to this, and there's a whole bunch of just forgotten superhero movies that I just, I forget exist. There's Sam Raimi's Darkman is
Mm-hmm.
pretty fun. It's got Liam Neeson. There's we did an episode about this probably a year ago, but The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comes up in the same conversation.
I could see
The
that.
original Judge Dredd with Stallone,
Yikes.
which is awful, but I don't know. I really like this movie. Duncan, how about you?
I think in a lot of ways I agree. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So yes, it's a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of things that it does well. There's some things that I'm like, wow, rewatching this, I'm like, I think it's hard not to laugh at some of the stuff in this that I don't think are meant to be funny. But we'll get to
Yeah,
that in our general discussion. But
there's
yes, I think if you're
yeah.
looking for like a fun time, yes, absolutely. And you have to remember, okay, this is not from 2024. This is from 1994. A lot can change in 30 years. Yeah.
Well, what's some things that stood out to you? What's some things you want to critique? Is there any like big issue you have with it that you want to get off the table? Where would you like to start?
I mean, all of my notes are just in chronological order as
Fair.
we were watching. And like, I took some notes while we watched, but a lot of it I didn't. So at the very beginning, where it's before like the 7 years later, where he's Lamont Cranston or whatever, and he's living in like Mongolia, China or something.
Yeah.
They open at this clearly like this heroin den, like this opium den,
Mm-hmm.
and it's if you look, it is the weirdest hodgepodge of characters in there. So it's mostly like Oriental esque people,
Let's not
and
let's
then
not
there's
let's not use Oriental.
for the time period that makes total
I
fucking
mean, I
sense.
mean,
Hayden.
actually, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
Yes, that's the only reason I've
Okay,
chosen to
okay,
use
okay.
Oriental.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway, and then there's randomly, oh, here's Alec Baldwin with a horrendous wig. Like one of the worst wigs I've ever seen. It's
It
so
is
bad.
pretty bad, and I think it is. I mean, both for like plot reasons, but it definitely helps that we don't stay in that flashback
Yeah,
sequence very
Jesus.
long because the hair is awful.
Well, that combination plus where he's also shirtless, so he's also wearing the sweater slash rug that is his chest hair because he's also just a really hairy guy. So it just looks kind of ridiculous.
Right, but at least that's his hair.
Sure, sure.
I don't even know if I ever noticed it before, but like, God, that wig is awful.
Oh, it's awful. It's so bad. It feels like the hairdresser person or a costuming or whatever was drunk. They're just like, I'm just gonna slap this on the head.
Well, it feels like, and I have no knowledge to back this up. I didn't look this up, but just running by the seat of my pants here, it feels like they ran out of budget and shot that
It's possible.
because it. I mean, I don't know. It just
But I mean,
it
they
feels
also
out of
had
place.
for that scene, and then I mean, they use it later on in the movie. But the animation for the like knife that's also
Oh, that used to scare me so much as a kid.
Hmm. No, I don't know why it never got me, but just now looking back and all, I was like, so wait, is it sentient? Is it a pet? What is the
I'm not sure. I always used to assume that it was stop motion, but looking at it now,
it's
as
definitely
an
not stop
adult,
motion.
it's definitely just early CGI. But for
Mhm.
like 1994, it
Not
doesn't
terrible.
look bad. And I would say for the most part, most of the CGI that's pulled off in this is pulled off convincingly enough. Like, I'm not going to look at
Enough.
that and be like, oh, wow, that looks exactly like real life. But on the other hand, I don't think it's going for that. It definitely feels like it's aiming for like theater-esque reality,
Sure.
I guess.
I did like when it's so I don't okay, there's two sides of this. One, I didn't like anytime he became the shadow, he had this whole other face that all again look the face looked like it was out of like Sin City, like it was like this oversized kind of grotesque kind of look.
Right, but that's the point. He
I get
he
it, but it
becomes
just
ugly to show the ugliness inside. That was kind of the whole idea. It was like the way where he could hide his identity.
well, it's weird. So his hiding the identity is Egg having an ugly face, and then his like cape scarf only covers his mouth. What is the point of this? Like, I know they're getting
He's pulling an opposite Batman. It's fine.
it just doesn't know. I was like, okay, most people when they do the whole bandit look, they cover the nose or most of the like something. He's like,
Yeah,
nope, my mouth only. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
I kind of took it as like kind of like a bandit. He's trying to look more like a gunslinger, I guess.
Yes, no. I totally agree. It wasn't enough. I liked all the blues at night, where like at the very beginning when they first show him as the Shadow rescuing the cement fella, who's also in big trouble in Little China.
Yeah, yeah. I said his name earlier. I now can't remember because I closed that tab. But yes,
I don't know what else I would have heard it in, but because there's a fair bit of it in the movie, the voiceover of just Alec Baldwin being the Shadow, I'm like, dude, great voice. Just do
I
more
mean,
things with your voice. I don't know.
I'm not sure if it would work nowadays. I mean, Paul Bolden's just fucking old. I would love them to make another one of these. Watching this has me like, you know what? I heard an interview recently. I think because Sam Raimi is uh promoting his Send Help movie. He was asked
Mm-hmm.
that he wanted to buy the rights for the Shadow as a character to make his own movie. Having
Hmm.
now rewatched this, I'm like, fucking this is so up Sam Raimi's alley. Like, absolutely, this is his vibe. Please make another one.
I would hope that if he did, it wouldn't be too like wacky violence. Like, you know what I mean?
It would be a hard balance to find.
Has the guy from Young Frankenstein just always looked
Like
that
that,
like well,
yes.
granted some people don't get famous until they get to a certain age, but just like wow, he is I mean, from Everyone Loves Raymond to, I mean, he's always just looked like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to see what's his earliest role. Something called The Monitors? No, I don't know. I would assume so, but he has stuff going all the way back to 1968. So maybe he actually was young then. But that being said, Young Frankenstein is only 1974. I think he may have just always looked that. He was in Taxi Driver?
I've only seen it once. I don't remember.
I'm gonna say it's been several years since I've seen it as well, but I don't remember him in Taxi Driver. But also, that's a really rough movie.
I was so underwhelmed by it.
I mean, as in like it's really grim and not fun. Like you are there to suffer
Yes.
along with the characters.
Yes. But just I don't know. I just maybe I was just not in the right headspace to suffer at the time, but I was like, man, I just could not get into it.
I don't know. I think it's I mean, we do tangents here, so that's okay, and we'll get back to Shadow here in a minute. I would say that like it is similar to our experiences with Bull Durham and how
Yeah,
certainly within our
I've
family was
kind
been
of
like,
come around to Bull Durham. I've
well,
kind of
no,
come around to it.
just in that like it was hyped up forever as like, oh, this is the funniest movie ever. This is the funniest movie ever. And then you watch it like it's okay. It's fine. Um, and I think that the and I think Taxi Driver is a similar way in that, it's always brought up in conversations like, oh, this is like one of the best movies ever made and yada yada yada. It's fine. Like it's definitely interesting from a historical standpoint. What I think of, the best movies ever, I don't know that I would name it.
Well, yeah, it's all opinion based, but yes.
Sure. Anyway,
Back to the
back to the
shadow.
shadow.
Okay, I have this theory, and I have multiple different points on why it makes sense. But my theory is, and just listen to the whole thing before I get caught up. But I think that the shadow is a Jedi.
It's a similar power set.
Yeah, when you look at them, like all the things that they do, I'm like, oh, it's the exact same fucking thing.
Well, I've always been interested in the fact that he carries guns, but he
Doesn't really
rarely
use
uses
them.
them.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know if that's like a censorship board thing at the time, and or maybe that's just how it was,
Maybe.
like in the show. But yeah, it's interesting to see where he doesn't really he's not very violent in anything. I don't know if he even punches anyone.
Oh, he definitely punches people. Yeah, no, there's times where he like just appears and disappears, which all the stuff where they have him literally coming out of a shadow and going back into a shadow, super cool. But what I'm talking about is like the times where he will like freeze and like the lighting cuts to where it's just lit up on his eyes and he tells basically controlling someone's mind. I'm like, dude, that's straight up just like these aren't the droids you're looking for kind of vibes.
You don't want to sell me death sticks. You want to go home and rethink your life.
Yes, or just you're gonna not think about the string or the shadow, which also brings me to the girl. I think she's I don't
I so
maybe
her
she's the best
character.
option at the time, but
I think her character in general is where this movie loses it for me a little bit.
yes.
It's not her fault. Like, she's not doing like an actual like bad job, but with all these other things going on, she's just not that interesting.
She's not she's kind of ditzy. She's just kind of yeah, she's not interesting to watch.
And they bring up the whole thing about how, oh, you can't affect my mind or whatever, and they don't really do anything with that.
Not a whole lot, no.
I feel like you can take her out of the story and have him find out about Ian McKellen's character some other way, because the only thing she does is that she wears slinky cleavage showing dresses and runs,
Yes.
which, don't get me wrong, big fan of that, but I don't know if it adds very much to the movie.
What I also didn't so there's a bit where they use a vacuum message system where they're shooting messages around the city and it shows like these tubes that are all over the city.
It's completely unnecessary, but it is awesome.
Well, it's cool. It's unnecessary, but like there's so many spots where like the pipes and tubing are just out in public and no one in public's like, "Oh, what the fuck is with all this tubing around the city?"
I I mean, I don't know, Duncan. I think
Which
if you
then
walked around downtown anywhere, like if we went to downtown Seattle, we could probably find random tubing sticking out of buildings.
maybe. But then okay, then you get the message. Then he just calls him on a little video monitor. I was like, "What was you could have just called."
He could have just
What?
called, but he didn't know what he needed to call about, and that's why we had to have the Rube Goldberg elaborate tubing.
I guess so. What I do think is actually pretty fun. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I think the tubing aspect is indicative of lots of the design choices for this. Of if it's cool and looks fun, added in, it doesn't have to make that much sense. Like
Sure.
there is so much of this movie that if you stop and think about it, you're gonna be like, well, why the fuck are we doing this?
Yeah, but I mean
But
that is
it
also to
looks cool.
say I love how the movie looks. All the like 30s kind of art deco-y, like the hotel set at the end, which is a real place.
So cool.
His Doctor Strange house.
I mean, we do actually have like an accurate Doctor Strange adaptation now,
Sure,
but like back in early 2000s when I was like 10, that shit blew my mind. I'm like, that is that one. That looks so cool. I think what is kind of interesting, just kind of sitting here when I was looking up the information, it doesn't have much to do with that. The plot of this movie and the plot of Batman Begins is very similar.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that to a certain degree. Yeah.
You have a rich guy who goes off to an Asian nation.
Yes.
He gets
Asian
trained
nation.
by, I didn't want to say Oriental nation. You have a rich guy who goes off to the Orient. He gets trained by a master of,
Yep.
mystical,
Yep.
some such or whatever.
Arts. Yeah.
He comes back to fight evil in the town in
Yes.
which he left under a new disguise. A former adversary who studied under the same master comes back to fight him for the fate of the city.
Yes. No,
There's
I totally get it. It's a lot.
There's
a lot of
there's even like a bomb subplot of sorts in
so it's kind of like the
as
Dark
well.
Knight Rises. Yes.
I mean, it's. I'm not saying Nolan copied because I would never.
You can pull
assume,
inspiration from a lot of places. That's what I
well,
would
no,
say.
it's just interesting how it makes so much of a difference. I mean, yes, they are different characters, but if you tried to make a Shadow movie with the same sort of like
seriousness,
the seriousness of a Batman Begins, I don't know if it would be as fun. But in the same way, I think if you made Batman Begins and made it this comic booky, it'd be too stupid.
Well, I have two bits written down. The whole like Brooks Brothers tie bit, which is it's dumb, but I love it. And then it's like, oh, an atomic bomb. Hey, that's catchy. I'm like, okay. I mean, again, I don't know if that was all the time. Yeah, that would be too much. But I think for this kind of movie, what was said is the right amount. But I can see, if you try to do this for something like Batman, even that would be too much.
Well, it's almost like the movie operates with the knowledge that it knows it's kind of hokey. Like, yeah, it's the Shadow. He drives around in a magic cab machine and has giant rings that he communicates with his secret agents. It's a little silly. And I really love that it embraces that attitude. I do think it's interesting that, like, once we get to the final showdown or whatever, and we get Khan and we get the Shadow and they're doing their thing, the actual like hero and villain fight over very quickly.
Very quickly.
Like you get a lot of posturing from the Genghis Khan descendant for the entire movie, and
I mean, I like the whole like when he's walking through all the mirrors and he breaks all the glass.
That's
just cool.
That has aged so well. That's still such a great shot. I just think that by the time the Shadow shows up in that big spinning room to the time where he lobotomizes him with the piece of the mirror, it's like 5 minutes. It's just odd. Well,
I don't think this very clearly buckets, and that's okay.
No, not really. I guess I would. So I have one or two things. First is Tim Curry is a delight in
pretty much everything.
I mean, granted, he always plays a Tim Curry character, but it's so great. Everyone loves Tim Curry. Tim Curry's great. He's great in this. He gets to just do random weird bullshit with his face. The acting choices he makes are so close to acting like a Looney Tune, but because everything else is, as you said, a little bit goofy, it totally doesn't miss. I think for the most part, the effects have aged pretty well. I think the one effect that is like standoutedly bad is the one where Khan like astral projects onto a billboard, and the billboard has like this guy who's supposed to blow smoke rings, so you buy cigarettes. It looked like a bad like Instagram filter. It looks real bad. Looks really bad. I really love the music for this, but I can't seem to track it down anywhere. Like I can't find it on Spotify.
Same problem.
It might just be too old.
I love the music, but yeah, when I was like posting my last Dunks movie corner, that this was on it, and I wanted to use the music from it, and like
sure,
the only thing I could find was like a orchestra doing a rendition of the theme. and
Yeah,
that was it. It's fine, but it's not really the same thing.
it's not. I had something else I wanted to say. So we obviously we both do like the music. What I don't like musically in this is that for whatever reason, even though they're sticking to a strictly like 1920s, early 1930s aesthetic, they just pipe in smooth jazz at some points. They'll have the quote unquote romantic scenes between Lamont Cranston and the blonde main character, whose name I can't remember because she's
I can't
definitely
think of
important.
it.
Margot Lane, when they're talking, they'll be playing like soft Kenny G in the background, and it's so jarring once I notice them doing it because it's so very different to the Jerry Goldsmith sounding stuff. I'm just like, what fucking studio head over at Paramount or Universal or whoever it was that released this sat down and be like, okay, fellas, love the movie, love the way it looks. We need more Kenny G. That's what our madcap superhero gangster movie needs. We need saxophone.
I mean, I don't know. Alec Baldwin has that kind of like soft allure to him. Do you know what I mean?
I definitely don't. Please tell me more about Alec Baldwin's soft allure, Duncan.
In the movie, he's like this like kind of suave but like polite. I don't
Sure,
know.
sure.
Anyway, I think that is about it for The Shadow. You can find this, I don't
So
fucking know. We
we
just
watched
watched a
this
copy of it.
physically. It's available, it looks like only on Amazon, which is a shame because I feel like it's available other places, but that's the only one that's coming up for me. Would you recommend this to people, do you think?
Most everyone, I would probably be like, hey, just an FYI, this came out in 1994, and like have fun with it is probably what I would say.
Yeah, I would definitely tell people don't go in. I mean, A, you shouldn't go in with too serious of an attitude. And B, you shouldn't expect the movie to have too serious of an attitude. Like, you should be like, this is even a little bit goofier than the first Toby Spider-Man.
Yeah, in some ways, for sure.
But again, come on, Sam Raimi, do it, please.
Well,
That being said, we're now going to move on to other things we've watched, other things we're looking forward to. Duncan, I feel like you've done more than me this week, so why don't we leave off with you?
let's see. What was the last thing we talked about? So the last would have been The Illusionist. So I think, I mean, I don't, some of this might be, this is a lot.
If
This
it's
seems like,
if it's a repeat, I will let you know.
okay. The Rock from 1996, the
It's a
Michael
repeat.
Bay. Okay. Cut that out. Two Sleepy
Sorry.
People. It's an independent
No,
film.
you mentioned that to. Well, actually, no, did we?
No, I think last time we recorded, I said I was going to go see it the next day.
That's
Okay.
true. That's true.
So this is, it's called Two Sleepy People. It's 90 minutes. It was literally in theaters for 1 week only. The director is mostly known for like YouTube and Letterboxd. I think it was very fun. I think I enjoyed it. I think it was very much like, oh, this person has never made a feature length film before, and
Ah,
that's okay. In some ways, that's good because they're trying different things with the camera and things and the story.
sure.
But at the same time, I'm like, okay, so this could have been maybe more polished. I watched The Comeback Trail, which is uh, Robert De Niro, Morgan Freeman, Tommy Lee Jones, and Zach Braff and Emil Hirsch.
Is that a
Basically,
Zach Braff written and directed thing?
nope, he's not in it that much. It's mostly what's his name? Robert De Niro is a movie producer that owes a bunch of money to Morgan Freeman, so he basically hires Tommy Lee Jones, who is this old as fuck actor from the Western era,
I
to
mean, that's
come
just
back and make
accurate.
yes. And I was saying this when I did my movie review, but like part of this, I'm sure they probably made him look a little older, but he looks like a fucking he looks so old in this because the whole point is them trying to kill him off during production so they get the life insurance off of him to pay
Oh,
back
that's kind
Morgan
of fun.
Freeman. But he somehow keeps like he's this like built tough from a different bygone era, like Western star, like rides a horse everywhere,
Fair.
like drunk as fuck. But it was surprise. It was fun. It was. I don't think it was a good movie, but it was fun. Um, I watched Bionicle Mask of Light, which I haven't seen
Hell yeah.
since 2003. And for 2003, keep in mind, this is the same year that Shrek came out. yes, Shrek looks a lot better. This is still a lot of fun. I don't really have any, like, for what it is, I think it's a lot of fun. I don't really have any notes, but it is exactly what you, yes, it is exactly what you think it's going to be. I watched Patriot Games, which is originally a Jack Ryan story that they made into a movie with Harrison Ford and Sean Bond. Sean Bean is the bad guy. I
Sure.
was kind of underwhelmed. The Shadow we just talked about. I watched or rewatched Limitless for the first time, and I can't remember. I think I've only seen it once, but everyone knows the story of Limitless. Like,
Yeah.
take the drug, Bradley Cooper. It was, again, pretty good, not amazing. Most of it, I was like, okay, so you're basically just showing me like drugs are cool. Got it, awesome. I rewatched The Banshees of Inisherin, which the first time I watched it,
I was gonna say, does it get better on a rewatch?
yeah. So the first time I just didn't really have any idea what to expect, and I think you definitely have to be in a specific mood to watch it
Because
because
I
it's not.
remember us
It's kind of
going to watch that in person, and
yes.
I was disappointed.
I don't think it's my favorite Martin McDonald, whatever his name is, because he
McDonough,
also
yeah.
did Seven Psychopaths was a lot of fun. In Bruges is a lot of fun.
In
He did
Bruges
Three
is, I don't know if I would
Billboards, which
say,
we just not just we've talked about Three Billboards
I don't know if I
at
would
some
say
point.
In Bruges is fun.
I think it has fun
I mean,
moments. It's
I
a
don't
very
know.
dark comedy,
I guess that's probably more accurate. Yes,
and this is more. I mean, it's definitely dark comedy, but just not as much comedy.
that's fair.
I watched an entire limited series called Untamed, which is weird. So the series opens like the opening credits says it's a Warner Brothers production. So Warner Brothers paid to make it, but then Netflix bought the rights to it. It never went to HBO. It went straight to Netflix. So it says it's a Netflix show, but it opens with a Warner Brothers logo.
That's
Doesn't make
kind
any
of
sense.
odd.
It's 6 episodes. Each episode's like 45 minutes. It's basically True Detective if it's set in Yosemite,
That's
which
fun. I mean,
I mean,
as a concept.
yes, actually, I like the concept. And so apparently, it was supposed to only be a limited series. The story is pretty much completely wrapped up. It was pretty good, like for what I think it could have had more like aesthetics to it to make it more True Detective esque. It's so pretty for being in Yosemite that it doesn't feel like gritty enough to be a like,
Sure.
you know what I mean? But
Yeah, there's
apparently,
definitely a difference between, one of the most beautiful national parks in the nation and
yes,
also, you know, fucking,
like the middle of nowhere south, like
yeah,
wherever it's shot.
yes.
Apparently, though, it did so well that they're saying they've already greenlit and filming starts on season 2 this year, and they're basically going to do it at a different national park. They said I've googled, and apparently it's going to be potentially set in Hawaii
That's
with none
a
of the same
choice.
cast except for Eric Bana, who I actually really liked Eric Bana in this, and I didn't realize like looking at him and his hair, I'm like he's kind of got like the same kind of curly hair I've got. And I was like, if I can kind of copy what he's got going on when he's,
I
in his
saw
like,
you post about
yes, I
that.
posted that. Yes, because I was like, I kind of like that. I could do that. But apparently
I don't
he's,
mind Eric Bana. I think he gets a bad rap for just
I think he does.
being in some unfortunate projects.
Well, he became popular at just like an odd time to become popular. Like it was that awkward Thousands, not quite superhero time, but like tried to do the superhero movie with the Hulk. He was, I mean, I like him in Troy.
Well, Troy's, I mean, we have some things to talk about with Troy later, but like, yeah, Troy's fun. I don't know. I think the Ang Lee Hulk movie was damaging
Oof.
for everyone involved.
Yes, yes. Either way, he's
Yeah.
great in this. But apparently, he's going to return and be a new park ranger potentially in Hawaii. I'm not really so. I'm not really sure how they're going to do that, if they're going to do that. But I would be curious to see how that's done because I generally enjoyed this. The guy who plays Bullseye in the new Daredevil shows, do you know who I'm talking about, or at least envision what he looks
Yes.
like?
Joel Kinnaman, I think.
Nope, that's not. Definitely not him.
Is that not him?
No.
Okay, but that guy.
Either way, that guy is in it as just a. He's good at playing like a not good guy. Without,
Yeah.
but he's not. I don't want to give away. He's not like the antagonist. But I watched something called Origin, which was 13 minutes long.
Oh, you
Only
watched a
because,
YouTube video.
well, technically, it's a short film. And I only watched it because I was like, I looked through the cast of that Two Sleepy People. I'm like, okay, it's like a first film. Has anyone else in this done anything? And a few people had done like a few things here and there. And I only picked this because the poster was really cool looking. It kind of gave like 2001 Space Odyssey, but cooler looking poster vibes.
I'm just gonna Google that. What's it called again?
Origin 2018. And I would also say directed by David Perella.
Is it a series?
No, it's a short film. It's 13 minutes. I know
Okay,
there's
hold
a
on.
series called Origin that also came up when I first Googled it. So you have to Google Origin 2018, directed by David Perella. The cover is this kind of like.
It's giving me something
Hold
else.
on. I'm gonna screenshot it. And
Oh,
I'm just gonna send
found it.
to
I found
you.
it. I found it. I found it.
You found it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a cool cover.
Yeah, so the poster, I was like,
That
I'll
is
watch 13 minutes for a
really
cool
similar
poster.
to the robot from 2001.
Yes. Either way, for 13 minutes, it was fine. It was not anything to write home about. I started and did not. I turned it off because I was like, oh, I don't need to finish this. I watched, or at least started, so I'm counting it. The Golden Compass from 2007. I don't know how I got a copy of this. I was cleaning
Sounds
out.
vaguely familiar.
There's a lot of people in this. So Nicole Kidman, Daniel Craig.
That's why, yes.
Ian McKellen, Eva Green. You'd recognize a ton of people, but
I've seen that. It's been probably a decade.
it's, again, I don't know how I ended up with this copy. Like, I did not buy this. I don't know where it came from. It's an interesting cast. The movie is not a good movie.
No, it's not.
If you look at reviews, I'm like, oh, most people thought this was dog shit. But if you look at the timeline, it's right before Daniel Craig got into Bond.
Yes.
Which is an odd thing, like a pivot from that to that.
And I would say that, like, if you have any interest in seeing that story actually done correctly and done well, absolutely you should try His Dark Materials. It's the exact same. It's based upon the same book, but it's lengthened out into a whole series. It's excellent.
Which
it's
maybe
really good.
Maybe that would actually make it, watchable, because it was not watchable.
Oh yeah,
and then,
no, the movie's bad.
And then let's see, yes. So these are a lot of movies. I know there's a lot of movies on this. I'm talking a lot.
It's okay.
I have more free time right now than I usually have because I just have more free time. Anyway,
yes.
So I finished my week with watching, and I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't love it. People We Meet on Vacation. This was a Netflix recommendation, just a rom-com.
I've heard of that.
It was fine. Something that, like, it's kind of hard to put into words is, like, the more modern rom-coms or just romantic movies that I watch, I find it harder and harder to relate to them because the main characters don't feel like real people. Like, their jobs are, like, it's not like, oh, like the main chick in this was, her entire job was getting sent on vacation all over the world and writing about it for like an online newspaper. And that's how, like, they got to go on vacation all over. It doesn't feel like real.
That works.
Maybe it was different back then when I think of like older rom-coms that I really connect with, but like, I don't know. I cannot find myself being like, this is real. This is like a real person that I could have known. Like, I can relate to their problems and how they move through life. I don't know. Whew, okay, that was a lot. That is all that I've seen. What I'm looking forward to, I mean, have fun, good luck, don't die, or whatever the right phrase of that comes out in a couple weeks. So that, I think, should be interesting, if not fun. I like Sam Rockwell in most things.
Yeah, usually.
I will probably see Wuthering Heights because it's coming to my work. I'm not that interested in Wuthering Heights.
Well, I mean, it does just look like pornography.
Well, again, it's in quotes because it is very clearly a adaptation of Wuthering Heights. It's not going to be the story. Oh, no, that's
Yeah.
the director is literally like, oh, the reason
Oh,
why
okay, I
we
was
put it
gonna
in
say.
quotes is because like it is not the main story that you probably know. It is our interpretation.
I was
So
gonna say it doesn't look very similar.
we'll see. I mean, my bosses went and saw like a trade screening of it ahead of time to see if they wanted to book it, and they're like, well, if you are looking for the book, you're not going to like it. If you want something that like all the costuming looks amazing, everything like that, you're going to love it. So we'll see. Anything that you've watched or are looking forward to, Hayden?
So in my effort to be healthier and thinner and all that jazz, I've been out to the gym now every other day during the week. And because of my luck, I've now caught Green Lantern every
Green
single
Lantern?
fucking time.
The one with Ryan Reynolds.
I've caught the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern on TV there every single time I'm at the gym. I don't know what like scheduling block is going on with whatever channel it's on. Every single time I'm like, oh, it's the same middle hour of the shitty Green Lantern movie every time. So I'm gonna count that I've now rewatched Green Lantern and it is still ass. Yeah, it looks like ass. Looking forward to I mean, pretty much any new version from DC's Lanterns is going to be a step up from this. I gotta assume. So
I
I'm
like.
I'm counting that I watched that.
Okay.
Sorry, I cut you off there. What were you gonna
So
say?
just speaking of lanterns, like the I like the idea. So what people have said, it's basically going to be like a actual like True Detective, but with Green Lantern stuff sprinkled in. And I
I don't
like
know
the
if
two
those two things
leads.
go together.
Not. I don't know. I think the main guy who's going to play Hal has been cast in way too many fucking things. I see him in everything.
Well, yeah, a little
But the
bit.
main guy who's going to play John Stewart, I like a lot. I've only seen him in a
He
few things,
looks
and he's
so
great.
much like him. He looks so good.
Yeah, if there's a few movies that I've seen him in, and he's been excellent.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I'm
very interested to see what they do
tentatively
with it.
interested. Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched that. I did get around to watching The Arbors, which was a Tubi original horror movie. That was
Mm-hmm.
also not very good. It's a Tubi original horror movie. I don't know what I expected. It was not that good.
Fair. Fair.
Looking for and then I've just been coming home very tired after like a 12-hour shift and pretty much showering and immediately going to bed and having some YouTube playing in the background. Haven't watched any other full-length movies. Looking forward to, so I don't know if this is something you're aware of, but Iron Lung, do you know what this is?
I know what it is. I don't really have any interest. Well, it's just not
I
really my wheelhouse.
I think I'm more interested in like seeing what it actually like and for the audience members, fucking I lost my train of thought. So this is a
Markiplier.
movie made by a very famous YouTuber, one of the most famous YouTubers, who has stated a couple different times on his channel. And I mean, I don't really follow him much anymore because I'm an adult, but uh, saying how he wants to be a serious filmmaker and yada yada yada. So he did actually release an actual real movie this year, and I think the discussion of is it good is kind of moot because much in the same way that Flow, the animated cat movie from last year, is more important for its industry than it is for its actual like film quality. I think it's a very similar discussion for Iron Lung because it's a self-financed, self, movie from someone who is not in Hollywood, and it was top of the box office and beat out Send Help in its opening weekend. I think that says more interesting things about the industry than whether or not it's actually a good movie. That being said, though, I kind of want to see what the quality is. I am slightly interested to see whether YouTube success translates to, movie success. Other than that, I don't know. I don't think there's been any new stuff. There's a horror movie trailer released for the movie Death Whistle, which looks entirely forgettable. Yeah, I don't think I have much to add this week, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's okay. It is, again, this is sort of the dead season for movies.
Yeah,
Something that I heard, I can't remember where I heard this, but quite a while ago, we used to do, towards the end of our episode, we do some sort of question
That's true. We haven't done that in over a year, but yes.
It's been a bit. What memory would you choose that you would think of when you were summoning your Patronus?
I don't know.
Come on, Hayden. Just think about it. Like I had this conversation over dinner with some
So
friends a
so
couple days ago. I was like, oh, that's a kind
what's
of an
what's
interesting
what's the
question.
criteria again?
The most like pure, happy, like full, like
Pure.
and I mean, I heard several different things from several different people. So like there's no right or wrong answer to this. It's just interesting. And or like
I
if you want
don't
to go the
know.
just go think about it for a second. Give it a second.
I'm thinking.
Okay, I'm like, okay, is it the first time like breathing underwater? Or like my friend Logan was like, oh, like honestly, like a very wholesome, like, oh, I honestly like he has a very similar background to us where he's like, oh, like doing yard work with my dad in the yard. He's like, I don't know why that like hits. Which maybe not my choice, but like just it could be anything. Bailey was like PRing in track and field.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that memory exists. I would have to think about it.
Well, just like it doesn't have to be the like memory. It's like it was a very positive memory. Let's start there. Maybe it's you going camping or going to a concert or going to a hockey game. That's very. I don't know. Just
I think going camping for my birthday a couple years ago was really great. Maybe
okay.
that. Yeah, watching the Thunderbirds win their division 2 years ago, also pretty great. But I don't know if that's like a memory that's happy for me. I don't know if that. I don't know if I would count those. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, then I will say TBD. Maybe I don't know. We'll circle back or certain. I don't know. It's just something that I was
Sure.
talking with. I was like, oh, it's kind of interesting. Well, that was episode
The Shadow.
81, The Shadow. Next week, if you also have Tubi, which everyone does because it's free, even though, I mean, there are trade offs with that, but we will be watching Into the Blue with Paul Walker of the Fast and Furious series, RIP, and Jessica Alba from Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer. I mean, she's done other things.
Machete kills.
Either way, it is a scuba movie. Oh, and also Josh Brolin is in it. It's a lot of fun. It's not a great movie, but it's a lot of fun. We will be watching and reviewing that next week. We'll follow along and look for that next episode. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging in there for another hour or so, give or take, after editing, and we will talk to you all then.